In this video, we are going to discuss about how can we determine the Fourier series coefficients, that is the DTFS coefficients of a signal. This particular derivation contains some mathematical manipulations, hence I request you to carefully learn this mathematical derivation of discrete time Fourier series coefficients.
Consider the DTFS equation x of n is equal to summation k in the range of n ak e power jk omega 0 n. Now multiplying both the sides of the equation by e power minus jr omega 0 n and sum over n samples will result in summation n within the range n x of n e power minus jr omega 0 n, and already there is a summation in the RHS of the actual equation. So now one more summation we need to include, that is summation n within the range capital N, summation k within the range capital N ak e power jk omega 0 n into e power minus jr omega 0 n. Here you need to note that the index r is taken because k we have already taken in the RHS of the actual equation. Now using the exponential multiplication, we can rearrange the term e power jk omega 0 n into e power minus jr omega 0 n as summation n within the range capital N, summation k within the range capital N ak e power j k minus r into omega 0 n. Now interchanging the order of summation in the RHS of the equation, we will get summation k within the range n ak into summation n within the range n e power j k minus r omega 0 n. Since it is a summation, there is no problem of changing the order of the summation. Now computing the innermost summation, summation n within the range n e power j k minus r omega 0 n is little bit trickier. Consider the innermost summation e power jk minus r omega 0 n. When k minus r is equal to 0 or k minus r is equal to capital N or k minus r is equal to 2n, we can see that the term e power j k minus r omega 0 n will be equal to e power 0 because k minus r is 0, which is equal to 1. When k minus r is equal to n, we know that omega 0 is equal to 2 pi by n. K minus r into omega 0 will result in capital N into 2 pi by n. N and n will get cancelled. We will get e power j 2 pi n. And if we sum all these ones, we will get the result of summation as summation n within the range n e power j k minus r omega 0 n equal to summation e power 0, that is summation of 1, which is equal to n. If you add n number of ones, you will get n. So this is the result of the innermost summation for k minus r is equal to 0 or n or 2n. This is equally valid for the values of k minus r is equal to n, 2n, 3n, etc. also. When k minus r is not equal to 0, calculating the summation is very interesting. Here you can see that the summation n within the range n e power j k minus r omega 0 n can be written as summation n within the range capital N e power j k minus r omega 0 the whole power n. Because of the exponentiation, term e power j k minus r omega 0 n will not change. Now this term, that is summation n within the range n e power j k minus r omega 0 power n, is a geometric progression series. And from the theory of geometric progression, we have this following relation which we have already studied in our school, that is summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 alpha n. We can compute that geometric progression as alpha power n minus 1 divided by alpha minus 1. So you have to note that the range of summation is from 0 to n minus 1, so we can write it as alpha power n minus 1 divided by alpha minus 1. Using this result, we have the innermost summation for k minus r not equal to 0 as summation n within the range n e power j k minus r omega 0 power n is equal to summation n varies from 0 to n minus 1 e power j k minus r omega 0 power n, which can be written as e power j k minus r. Instead of omega 0, I am going to write 2 pi by n. So e power j k minus r 2 pi by n into n minus 1 divided by e power j k minus r omega 0 minus 1. Here the n and n will get cancelled. You will get e power j k minus r into 2 pi minus 1 divided by e power j k minus r omega 0 minus 1. Here you know that both k and r are integers. So anyway, e power j into an integer into 2 pi will always result in 1. So in the numerator of this equation, it will give us 1 minus 1 divided by e power j k minus r omega 0 minus 1, and that will result in 0. When k minus r is not equal to 0, this innermost summation will always result in a value 0. So only for k minus r is equal to 0, it has a value which is equal to capital N. Thus we have our actual equation, summation n within the range capital N x of n into e power minus j r omega 0 n is equal to a r into n for k is equal to r. So we have to note that in the equation, the outer sum, that is summation k within the range n a k, does not exist for other values of k, because it has an existence only when k equal to r, because for other values of k the innermost summation is 0 and both of them will multiply and will become 0. So the outermost summation is now not required, so we can write the equation as summation n within the range n x of n e power minus jr omega 0 n is equal to ar into n for k equal to r. Changing the variable r to k, we have the equation summation n within the range n x of n into e power minus jk omega 0 n equal to ak of n. Now we are in the process of finding out the value for the discrete time Fourier series coefficients ak. So taking the capital N to the LHS of the equation, we will get ak is equal to 1 by n summation n within the range capital N x of n into e power minus jk omega 0 n, and this particular equation is known as the analysis equation of DTFS. The discrete time Fourier series coefficient ak are often referred as the spectral coefficients of x of n. These coefficients specify the decomposition of x of n into sum of n harmonically related complex exponentials.
I hope you got a clear idea about the derivation of discrete time Fourier series coefficients, and the basic idea of DTFS is that any periodic signal, any discrete time periodic signal x of n can be expressed as a linear combination of n number of harmonically related complex exponentials. The sentence is very important, that is n number of harmonically related complex exponentials. To represent a signal x of n with n number of samples, we need n number of DTFS coefficients, which makes the DTFS a finite series. Hence, it is easy to manipulate both the signal and its frequency representation using computers.